What does every tourist need to see when visiting the USA? Seasoned travelers would definitely mention the Statue of Liberty and the Hollywood Walk of Fame. However, there are many other interesting places in the United States that are sure to leave a lasting impression on any tourist. America is full of stunning and breathtaking locations, including icy caves and tropical islands, fantastic geysers and majestic canyons, endless tulip fields, and the lights of a nighttime metropolis. In today's video, we will tell you about the most beautiful places in the United States that are worth seeing at least once in your life. The Grand Canyon National Park in Arizona, USA, is one of the oldest parks in the country. The vast canyon was formed by the Colorado River eroding the plateau of the same name for almost 10 million years. It still continues to grow due to ongoing erosion. The canyon is incredibly large, 446 kilometers long and up to 29 kilometers wide and 1,800 meters deep. So different parts of it have different climates. The lower level is close to the desert climate of Arizona with hot and dry summers, while its upper forested part even gets snow-covered in the winter. The best way to admire the enchanting surrounding landscape is from the transparent observation deck of the Grand Canyon Skywalk, which hangs over the precipice. The canyon attracts around 6 million tourists annually, and the range of activities for them is not limited to natural beauty alone. Adventure seekers can go on hikes, raft on the Colorado River in inflatable boats, go horseback riding and mule riding, and even take a helicopter or a hot air balloon flight. Here you can find traces of 4 geological eras, observe how the landscape changes at different heights, and even visit local indigenous people. The popularity of the canyon was boosted by President Theodore Roosevelt, who loved vacationing there, and initiated this area's transition into a protected area. Nowadays, the Grand Canyon isn't only one of the most popular parks in the USA, but also a UNESCO World Heritage Site. The Hawaiian Islands, USA, make up a state located 3,700 kilometers away from the continental part of the country. The archipelago has a volcanic origin. There's even a park of volcanoes here. The islands vary in size and landscape. The stunning nature of tropical jungles, the amazing underwater world, the hospitable local traditions, and the ocean suitable for swimming year-round attract groups of tourists. Approximately 90% of Hawaii's gross product comes from tourism and the service sector. Hawaii is known around the world for its pristine beauty, sandy beaches, picturesque valleys and mountains, powerful waterfalls, active volcanoes, coral reefs, and perfect surfing conditions which attract tourists from all over the world. Hawaii is home to the world's most active volcano, Kilauea, which has been erupting almost continuously. It is one of the few places on Earth where you can relatively safely observe lava flows pouring directly into the ocean. Nearby lies the most massive volcano on the planet, Mauna Kea. It's interesting that if we were to measure its height from the ocean floor rather than sea level, it would be over 10 kilometers high, making Mauna Kea the tallest mountain on Earth. Other notable attractions of the archipelago include Waima Canyon, the Nepali coast, and Waikiki Beach in Honolulu. Boston, the capital of Massachusetts and the largest city in the region known as New England, can rightly be called one of the most European cities in the USA. It was the scene of a number of historical events, including the Boston Massacre and the Boston Tea Party, which ultimately led to the Revolutionary War. Many historic landmarks of that time have been preserved here. Nevertheless, Boston remains a city of young people, as there are many educational institutions here that have long been ranking high on global ratings. One of them is the Massachusetts Institute of Technology, which has given the world a record number of Nobel Prize laureates. Equally famous is the renowned Harvard University, which has produced 8 U.S. presidents and numerous individuals who have changed the world, including prominent figures like Bill Gates, Mark Zuckerberg, and others. Denali National Park is perhaps the main attraction in Alaska. The area of this vast biosphere reserve is about 25,000 square kilometers. Here within the territory of the national park, the highest mountain peak in America, Mount McKinley. The Athabascan people named it Denali, which translates to the Great One. As scientists later found out, the Athabascans' definition was surprisingly accurate, since if we were to measure the mountain's height from its base, located deep underwater, to the summit, it would exceed the size of Mount Everest. During a visit to Denali National Park, you can learn about the way of life of the indigenous people of North America and enjoy magnificent natural landscapes. There are picturesque rivers flowing through the territory, as well as glacial lakes and tundra stretching for tens of miles. Animals and plants are represented by a rare combination of North American and Asian species. Thousands of nature lovers come here every year to enjoy solitude in nature. Los Angeles owes its worldwide fame to the 20th century, the rise of the film industry, and the concentration of movie stars, and everyone associated with this world. Los Angeles is a city built on dreams, the dreams of adventurers and seekers of untold wealth, the dreams of immigrants for a new, better life, and the dreams of aspiring actors of the glamour and luxury of Hollywood. During your journey through the city, you will certainly feel the energy of these dreams embodied in stone and concrete, metal and glass, in wonderful parks, historic and avant-garde architectural structures, fountains, frescoes, and sculptures. Thanks to its favorable location between the ocean and the mountains, Los Angeles enjoys a mild climate and more than 300 sunny days a year. The most recognizable hallmark of the city is the huge Hollywood sign, which has been adorning the hills of the same name since 1923. Another point of interest is the Walk of Fame, with celebrities' handprints as well as their luxurious mansions in Beverly Hills. Other famous landmarks include Universal Studios with its eponymous theme park, the Dolby Theater, where the Oscars are awarded annually, Griffith Observatory, the Chinese Theater, and other iconic places. For young visitors, the first Disneyland in the world was opened near Los Angeles. It was designed and built under the guidance of Walt Disney himself. In the southwest of the state of Colorado, on the ruggedly canyon-carved Mesa Verde Plateau, lies the national park of the same name. It was established in 1906 to protect 600 cliff dwellings built by the ancestral Puebloans in the 6th to 13th centuries. Translated from Spanish, Mesa Verde means green plateau. It got its name from the local landscapes. The plateau is covered with coniferous forests, dominated by Colorado pinyon, beautiful junipers with blue-green needle-like leaves, and aloe yucca. For almost 6 centuries, no human foot stepped into the abandoned ancestral Puebloan dwellings. The ruins of the cliff settlement were discovered on December 18, 1888, when 2 cowboys from Colorado, Richard Wetherill and Charlie Mason, stumbled upon a huge stone building embedded in the mountain range. From a distance, it resembled an abandoned medieval city with towers and houses. Over the course of a year, the cowboys explored the neighboring canyons and discovered 182 more cliff villages. The cliff dwellings of the ancestral Puebloans resemble modern multi-story houses. One of the most impressive monuments of their culture is the Cliff Palace in Mesa Verde. It consists of 150 living rooms, 75 courtyards, as well as several storerooms and 23 round ceremonial rooms. The balcony house is the most exotic and inaccessible of all the settlements. It hangs over a cliff at a height of 180 meters. There's no visiting the balcony house without climbing equipment. The walls of almost all buildings are made of sandstone slabs, coated with clay and plastered. Many rooms are adorned with rock art. 700 years later, Mesa Verde is once again teeming with people. The national park is open all year round and attracts 700,000 tourists annually. St. Augustine, a small town on the Atlantic coast of Florida, is considered the oldest existing European settlement in the United States. The first colonizers set foot on these lands back in 1513, when the Spanish navigator and companion of Columbus, Juan Ponce de Leon, landed on the Florida coast in search of the legendary Fountain of Eternal Youth. By the way, it is to him that the state owes its name, which means flowery land. However, the first fortifications at the site of the present-day St. Augustine appeared about a half a century later. In 1672, they were supplemented by the still-standing Castillo de San Marcos, the oldest masonry fortress on the continental territory of the United States. Nowadays, this formidable stronghold is one of the main tourist magnets of the city. Apart from it, travelers are also attracted by the opportunity to find the first lighthouse in Florida and the oldest school, take a stroll through the historic district, visit the rich pirate and treasure museum, or go on a tour of an alligator farm. One of the tourist attractions on the Pacific coast of the United States is the old-growth sequoia forests. They stretch for about 750 kilometers from California to southwest Oregon. These massive trees are considered to be the largest and some of the oldest on the planet. Moreover, nowhere except in California are they found in such quantities and reach such gigantic sizes. To preserve this unique population, the U.S. authorities have established several national parks at once. The most famous of them is Redwood National Park, where nearly half of the virgin sequoia forests are preserved. It is also home to the famous Hyperion, the tallest tree on Earth, reaching a height of 115 meters. Thanks to its cosmic landscapes, Redwood National Park has often appeared on the big screen. Equally popular among tourists is Sequoia National Park, where the famous General Sherman grows. This giant is 30 meters shorter than Hyperion, but much thicker. In terms of mass and wood volume, this tree is considered the largest on the planet, and its age is estimated at 2,500 years. Chicago is the third most populous city in the United States and the largest metropolis in the state of Illinois, sprawling along the shore of Lake Michigan. Chicago is often called the Second City or the Windy City. The former implies its economic leadership after New York, while the latter doesn't come from the strong winds as many believe, but from the fluctuations in city politics. This nickname, uttered by politicians, has become so entrenched that it is now Chicago's second name. This city is not lacking in audacity and pride. It truly has something captivating about it. Chicago's powerful architecture hides Mexican, Polish, Vietnamese, and other ethnic residential areas the tourist can wander around. Chicago was home to the world's first Ferris wheel and the very first skyscraper, as well as a unique engineering system that reversed the flow of the city's river. Modern Chicago is a multitude of ethnic neighborhoods, parks, museums, luxurious theaters and cabarets, Lake Michigan, and the famous Willis Tower, from which you can see 4 states at once. Chicago is a city of blues and jazz, clubs and bars with a history, various monuments, and enormous skyscrapers. Moreover, it is an excellent destination for foodies, as one of the world's largest food festivals is held here. There is a part of America where there is no hustle and bustle, no frantic pace of a running crowd, and no incredibly high buildings. The cozy small town of Savannah in the southern United States is one such place. It is nestled among gloomy forests and impassable swamps. In this town, American rural Gothic low houses coexist with ancient oaks adorned with legendary Spanish moss. Here, it isn't customary to eat on the go, but to have breakfast in local cafes until noon. Many houses and streets remain in their untouched, pristine state. Savannah is a quiet backwater where crazy adventures await tourists. Throughout its history, Savannah's life has been inextricably linked with the port from which ships loaded with American cotton regularly sailed to the Old World. The city, enriched by trade, acquired banks, churches, big mansions, cozy squares, and parks. All this splendor can be admired even today. Savannah is shrouded in secrets and mystery, which doesn't only attract researchers looking for paranormal phenomena, but also travelers interested in this topic. Unlike other American cities, there aren't any gray, gloomy skyscrapers, but exclusive, cozy neighborhoods with low buildings. In Savannah, you can enjoy the quiet and measured life of an American small town with rich flora. The city is divided into several squares. Wherever you go, you can see the main highlight of the city, Spanish moss, and the city's parks and alleys will definitely lead to interesting architectural structures. Niagara Falls, separating the state of New York from the Canadian province of Ontario, can rightfully be called one of the most breathtaking natural wonders on the planet. It is a truly fantastic sight. Spreading over 1,200 meters, the Niagara River plunges into the abyss from a height of 57 meters, forming numerous rainbows and creating a roar that can be heard for kilometers. Moreover, it isn't just one waterfall, but three at once. The largest of them, Horseshoe Falls, is located on the Canadian side of the river, while the American Falls and Bridesveil Falls are situated on the U.S. side. They are separated from each other by a chain of small islands. Although the height of Niagara Falls is quite modest by global standards, its impressive width and the volume of cascading water make it the most powerful waterfall in North America. Furthermore, tourists have the opportunity to take a boat ride to the base of the waterfall, experience its power in the Cave of the Winds, or appreciate this natural attraction from a bird's-eye view during a helicopter tour. San Antonio is the only major city in Texas that was founded even before the state gained independence from Mexico. Spanish missionaries and soldiers, German merchants, southern planters, cattle ranchers, and architects lived here. Their presence is still felt in the city center, in the culture and cuisine of San Antonio. The city is primarily known for its vibrant nightlife, eclectic architecture, and the Alamo. The Alamo is a former Spanish mission that played a significant role in the Texas War of Independence. The Riverwalk is also popular among tourists. It has a reputation as a great promenade to take a walk at. The local cuisine deserves special attention as it blends both European and Mexican traditions. That's all for today, friends. Like the video, subscribe to our channel, and see you soon.